Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, now I would like to request you all to join the joint press appearance. Thank you all. Long live Bangladesh Timor-Leste friendship.
For me, it has been a great pleasure, privilege to be back in Bangladesh, my third visit. I was here in the previous occasion, one private citizen after I had left office as president. Second, in 2014, in my capacity at that time as a chair of the high-level panel on UN peace operations. Today, to visit a new Bangladesh that is going through remarkable transition and transformation, led by one of the most recognizable face in the world, recognizable name, led by one of the most respected, esteemed leader in the world. The other day, a few weeks ago, when I was reading again about my friend and mentor, Muhammad Yunus, I noticed he has more than 100 honorary degrees, doctors, honoris causa. And I say, what? I have a 20 or 20 plus. I don't know of anyone in the world who has more than 100 honorary doctorate degrees. And it is the only leader in the world with such a name recognition, such a respectability in active office. The only person with such respect in the world that can come to my mind is Mandela and John Kennedy, names that are easily recognizable. Mahatma Gandhi, Fidel Castro, Che Guevara, or some great academics, intellectuals in the world. So Bangladesh is very fortunate, very lucky to have such an unassuming, humble person leading this. And he probably doesn't like the word leading, but maybe working with you, with the young people, young generation, with the students, to transform the country. We have a similar history of past suffering, tragic events in the past that happened to us, like in many other countries. And nature has not been very generous to the Bangladeshis. In some ways, maybe it has been generous, but other ways not very generous. But that molded the Bangladeshi people to be resilient, to be creative, hardworking, and successful. Sometimes history naturally imposed on us some lessons that we know to survive. To thrive, you have to be study, work hard, and that's how we observe Bangladeshis in my country and around the world. So this country has tremendous future under my friend, mentor, because every time I email Professor Yunus, I always say, dear brother, dear friend, dear mentor. And maybe I'm not too young to be mentored by him. He probably say, we are almost same age, why is calling me mentor? So thank you for hosting me here. I'm very, very honored, and we have just witnessed the signing of some agreements, some MOUs, but we will do more in the months and years to come to expand economic trade relations. And I think we can import more, Timor-Leste import more from Bangladesh. And we invite Bangladeshi companies to come and look for Timor-Leste, because by next year we will join ASEAN and will be part of a region of 700 million people with a joint GDP of over 4 trillion. And we also, next year, we might be experiencing high economic growth with the potential agreement and development of a major gas field called Greater Sunrise. Hopefully an agreement will be signed in the next few weeks, and that finally see this project taking place. It has been stuck for 20 years, but finally all sides seem to converge on an agreement. I'm not involved in the negotiations, in the arrangements, but I hear from the media in the region that an agreement is possible very soon. And this will enable the government to invest more in infrastructure, in education, in health, in environment protection, and so on. So in that regard, we would hope to have my mentor, friend, Professor Yunus, and Bangladesh as a partner with Timor-Leste. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency. The whole nation today is celebrating your presence here because you chose the date which is very dear to our heart, 16th of December, our Victory Day. You are not only visiting us as the first head of the state since we took over the responsibility of the government, you also chose a date which is so unique in our history to show your support to us, Bangladesh, and also look forward to build a future together. So I thank you on behalf of all the people of Bangladesh for joining us on this day of victory. I tried to explain to you how the circumstances led to the collapse of the previous government, that the leader of the previous government had to flee from the country. And there was a vacuum in the country. And finally it was resolved by creating a new government headed by me. So we have to honor the expectations of the sacrifices made by the young generation and their supporters from the people by giving their lives and getting wounded in thousands. The aim is to create, as you mentioned, new Bangladesh, departing from the terrible things that we have done to ourselves in the past. So that's our mission that we want to continue with. As you have heard, he was speaking about me, you realize that one has to be a really good friend to say all those nice words. He himself is a great diplomat, made a name for himself in the United Nations, pleading and working for the freedom of East Timor. He's a freedom fighter. And he continued to remain a fighter for his government and his country. He's a great writer. He very frequently writes op-eds in international newspapers. Occasionally I joined him as a co-author of those op-eds. And he stands up for the rights of the people all around the world, not just Timor-Leste. So he's a very known person in the world. And I'm so happy to be a friend of his, and he being my friend. I can call him a friend. I was stunned when I heard that when he received the Nobel Peace Prize, he put all his money in microcredit. So that was a very pleasant surprise for me that still our relationship was not that close at that time. When I heard that, it really amazed me. That shows something that he really loved to do, giving all his money, the prize money, into microcredit. And since he became a foreign minister in the beginning, he was promoting microcredit and invited me and my colleagues to come to East Timor to promote that. Even before I arrived, Helen Todd, a close friend of ours from Malaysia, she was invited to start a microcredit program in East Timor. So when I arrived, I could go and visit them in Mosin Nasi and other areas of East Timor. So ever since, he became a big fan of microcredit and all the things that it stands for, particularly in his country, and promoting it internationally. And we can joint statements asking for rights for the people, our rights for the environment, and similar other issues. We have issued so many common statements together, bringing other people to sign in. And what surprised me, he was the one who jumped up to sign statements to protect me. And you remember many hundreds of people around the world who signed those statements again and again to protect me from the previous regime's anger against me. And he was always the first one to come up and say, I'm there, and put his name on those statements around the world. And that friendship continues. Today we can work together. So in many fields we explore. In Bangladesh and East Timor, history is intertwined, because the birth of East Timor is connected with Bangladesh. Very surprising for many people to hear that. Because when East Timor was created, it was under the supervision of United Nations. And the first one to be the representative to oversee the East Timor transition was Sergio Melo, right? A Brazilian. And he was the head of the administration in East Timor, when the East Timorese is not given the responsibility to run the country yet. But he was transferred soon after. He left for Iraq. If you remember, a shocking thing happened. He was killed in Iraq. The whole world was stunned by his death. The person who succeeded in East Timor was Amira Haq from Bangladesh. So Amira Haq was literally the head of the government in East Timor. And Bangladeshi Peace Corps, peacekeeping army, they were the ones who were running the country, along with many other international peacekeeping forces, to bring order and peace in the island. And because of the connection with Amira Haq and the Bangladeshi Peace Corps mission, the entire police force of East Timor was a Bangladeshi police force. So wherever you go, you see Bangladeshi police force. They are the people ensuring law and order in East Timor. And when I was visiting in 2004, I was invited by Amira Haq in her big palace, inviting everybody in East Timor. I saw how much respect she enjoyed from all the Timorese people and all the people under her. And she did a good job in running the country and win the respect and love of the Timorese people. And I realized it when I was visiting the villages. The moment they knew that I'm from Bangladesh, they always admired because some Bangladeshis are running the country. So I can see how much love and respect she enjoyed at that time. And still, many Bangladeshis work there. I don't know about the police force. Police posters, probably it's now Timorese police force. But the fact that at the very birth, Bangladesh was very much part of Timorese history, East Timor's history. So you continue to have that relationship, that warm relationship that we created, to continue to do that. And East Timor will be part of ASEAN very soon. And His Excellency has assured us, as ASEAN member, he will try his best to make sure ASEAN supports us in the Rohingya issues, to restore Rohingyas back to Myanmar. So we discussed in details about how this can be achieved, how to make the international opinion go towards the repatriation of Rohingyas from Bangladesh back to Myanmar. It will be a strong support for us. Besides all the international forums, we look forward to get the support from East Timor. And His Excellency has expressed his support wherever it's needed. And we are so proud to have him with us. It's a wonderful occasion to be here today, to see him. And I hope this will not be the last. He has already visited twice Bangladesh.
This is third time.
Third time. This is the third time, yes. This is the third time he has visited. So I hope there will be many more times to come and visit. And our relationship continue to grow. And we signed some agreements, but beyond the agreements, we also make sure that our relationship on trade, on investments continue and expand. And His Excellency has invited all our investors in Bangladesh to come and invest in East Timor. And we'll be very happy to encourage to build the relationship which started with the birth of East Timor, continue to be bigger with the support from His Excellency's office and the people of East Timor to make it bigger and bigger. Even when I was visiting, first time in 2004, I saw many Bangladeshi products in the villages, not in the city. City is there. Many Bangladeshi products, they are everyday products. They see it as their own. They say something, chairs, tables, brand goods, plastic chairs and all that, lots of things. So it made me happy that yes, our business people coming to East Timor and see the vacuum there and helping people, and people enjoyed those products that they were having. So we are inviting East Timor to widen that, not only selling products, also producing products in East Timor, have a bigger market around the East Timor. So we'll be looking forward to that. But with these words, we again thank Your Excellency for being here with us today and make the whole nation happy for your presence. Thank you.
Honorable President of the Democratic Republic of Timor-Leste, His Excellency Dr. José Ramos-Horta, Honorable Chief Advisor, Government of the People's Republic of Bangladesh, His Excellency Professor Muhammad Yunus. Thank you very much for your kind statements. With this, we are now opening the floor for questions. We can take a maximum number of 2 questions.
Assalamu alaikum. This is Shamsul Alam from Bangladesh Television. His Excellency, Mr. Professor Muhammad Yunus, Chief Advisor of Interim Government of Bangladesh. My question, Bangladesh and Timor-Leste today entered new phase of bilateral relationship. How both countries can be benefited from their mutual cooperation? Thank you.
Yeah, I just mentioned that there's a lot of things to achieve. First, on the international front, we are very close friends, both countries, and with the leadership of His Excellency, also makes it stronger relationship. So on all international fronts, we'll work together. Particularly, East Timor can be very helpful for us to play a role, mediating role between Myanmar and Bangladesh to repatriate all the Rohingyas from Bangladesh back to Myanmar. So, and they are very close. They know each other very well, the leadership of Myanmar and His Excellency. So, and also he is known as a great diplomat in the international circuit. So I hope we are looking forward to take advantage of that skill together with the friendship that he has for all countries, Myanmar and Bangladesh and his own, to make a peaceful solution to the problem in the Rohingya things. Also, economically we can benefit because they are inviting us to invest, and it's a great opportunity. The resources East Timor has is totally endless, from oil to the greeneries, the forestries. Wherever you go, it's a beautiful forest. It's a wonderful occasion to do that, and education, many other things that we can do. Technology for people in the remote places, which we have done in Bangladesh. We can bring it to East Timor for doing that. And they'll be very happy, and that's what His Excellency was explaining in inviting us to come. So our relationship grows stronger as we visit each other and see the opportunities for each other in both countries and continue to achieve those things. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I am SM Rashidul Islam, working at National News Agency, Bangladesh সংবাদ সংস্থা. His Excellency Timor-Leste President José Ramos-Horta. My question is, both of you are Nobel Peace Laureate. What is your message for global peace in the present context?
Well, one just need to read the news of the last few 2 years, few months, few weeks, few days, few hours, to be so disillusioned, pessimistic about the way forward. Frankly, global leaders, particularly those sitting as permanent members of the UN Security Council, they have this privilege, the power, one, to prevent conflicts from happening. Second, when conflicts happen, they are supposed to expeditiously try to resolve. And yet, at least 4 of the permanent members are involved directly or indirectly in some of the worst conflicts today in the world, whether Ukraine, or Middle East, Gaza, Lebanon, Syria now. And if dialogue does not happen, serious negotiations do not occur to prevent an escalation, whether in the Middle East or whether in Ukraine. It would be catastrophic for human beings, and they're directly impacted, but also for global economy and for us all. I remember before the Ukraine war, 25 kilos of rice in my country cost about $11. I know the price because I often go with my old Willys Jeep, 1948 Willys Jeep. I buy off the stores to deliver to some poor families myself. And so I remember $11 for 25 kilos, and I think $6, $7 for 5 liters of the famous Indonesian cooking oil, and so on. As soon as the Ukraine war happened, price of rice, the same 25 kilo, from $11 jumped to $18, $19, $20. So a war that is initiated elsewhere impact on the poor in the periphery. So if the situation is not addressed, we will have a second, third wave of economic crisis, food crisis, and another wave of refugees flocking again out of Syria, as many thousands are returning from Turkey into Syria. But the story is not finished yet. It could be quickly they turn around and they flee back to Turkey and then to Europe. And yet the multilateral security arrangement that was created since World War II literally collapsed. So no really room for optimism. Only what I can say is that in our respective countries, in my country, we do everything to keep peace in the country. When I was asked, what can Timor-Leste contribution to ASEAN as we join? I say, the greatest contribution we can make to ASEAN is to keep the peace, stability in our own country, so that we do not become another headache for our neighbors. Timor-Leste today is very peaceful. We have zero political violence, zero ethnic-based or religious-based tensions. We don't even have tensions, let alone violence. Political feuds happening inside the parliament, and then that's it. Outside the parliament, they start talking again, the members of parliament, and go together to parties and so on, to resume the fight the next day in the parliament. And that's it. That will be our best contribution to ASEAN. We are too small to contribute anything of any significance. But if we keep the peace in Timor-Leste, ASEAN will be relieved, very happy. So, but there are, back to your question about the global situation, it is very grave. We hope that somehow President Donald Trump will disappoint everybody in the sense they have so little expectation on him to bring peace to the world that he might surprise everybody that he is the one who will end the Ukraine war. He is the one who will tell Israel to retreat and allow the Palestinians to have a home safe like Israelis also demand. Maybe him. If he does that, if Donald Trump does that, I would file a letter to the Nobel Committee in Oslo. Please give the Peace Prize to Donald Trump.
Very good.